So I started to do this project, and then I thought I need to get on here and show everybody this because I didn't realize it at first either. When you save, these are my sweet meat squash. I only got 2 from the plant, but both of them, so I already cut this one, gutted it. There's the guts there. But they both have, like this one has that blemish right there. Now, these are winter squash, which means you can store them over winter and use them as needed. But as you can see, this one is rotten at the top, and it's got a spot right there. And if I don't get these used up, they're gonna go bad. So I'm gonna cook these up, and I was going to make a sweet meat soup. That sounded really good, but then you need coconut milk, and I don't have any coconut milk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook the meat up, and then I'm going to freeze it, and then once I have the coconut milk, I'll thaw the squash, and then I'll make that soup. But I can't wait any longer because this just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and I don't even know how bad the inside is. I'm hoping that there's still something salvageable in here. But, so these are the seeds. So you can see there's some of the gooey guts and everything still on them. To get that stuff off, you ferment the seeds. So this is how I do tomato seeds. There's also like a coating on the outside of seeds that helps the seeds when this naturally decomposes and all that's left is the seeds. There's like a coating that helps the seeds stay viable through the winter, and then as that coating will break down, and then the seed can grow. So to store the seeds, you want to try to get that coating off of there. And what you do is you ferment. So you take a jar, I have a jar here, and you're just going to put the seeds in the jar. And then you add water. Now, any viable seeds that will make another sweet meat plant next year will sink to the bottom, and any unviable seeds will float to the top. And it will also get rid of all of the, pulp and stuff that's all over the seeds. So you leave the seeds sit in the water for like 4 to 5 days. Something like that. You'll know when it's time to clean the seeds off. And by fermenting, you get that outer coating off of them as well. And you'll know when it's time to clean them in about 4 to 5 days because it really starts to stink. And there's like a nasty film on the top of the water. But there they are in the water. So I'm going to cut this one in half and see if I can save some seeds from that one. Then I'm going to cut this in half one more time. So I'm going to quarter them. And I'm going to stick each one of these in the microwave. Well, I'm going to stick like all 4 of these. And then when I get this one cut up, all 4 of those. I'm going to stick them in the microwave for 2 to 3 minutes. That way I can get the rind off easier. It doesn't cook the squash completely, but it helps to get this rind off. Otherwise, you're going to spend the next year of your life trying to get this rind off of there. And then I am going to steam this until it's cooked and then freeze it. Bag it up and freeze it until I'm ready to make that soup. All right, so I've got it cut in half, and this is what the inside of a sweet meat looks like. Man, I look rough. But it's sort of like a pumpkin or like a butternut squash, but there's lots of seeds in here. So sometimes when you cut them in half, you end up cutting through some of the seeds. If you cut them open, they're not viable. They're not gonna, those aren't seeds that you want to save. So I'm just kind of cleaning this out. So I definitely have lots of seeds for next year. Now, I will say that this was planted next to a zucchini. So there is a possibility that it got cross-pollinated. And that's always the case unless you're planting your stuff far apart. But we will save these seeds and test them out. Now, I think I said this. Normally I have my acorn squash and I have my spaghetti squash. All of those, there was no issues with them. But both of these sweet meat broke off of the vine and rolled down a hill, so they kind of got banged up a little bit. All right. Let's see what the inside of this looks like from the top, because it's pretty gross. Oh. That's pretty nasty. All right, so I'm just gonna cut the yucky part here. And anything that I don't end up, oh, stinks. All right. So the rest of that looks good. No yucky parts. This had a yucky part. Or wait, no, this is the good. Is this the good? Where's the good? Yeah, this is all good there. It's been sitting on my counter for a while. I should have done this a while ago, and I knew it needed done because I was like, the top of that is gonna rot, and it did. Okay. I think I could probably. Okay. That's it. I think the rest of this is no bueno. All right, I'm gonna stick a few pieces of these in the microwave here and see how much easier the skin comes off. Okay, so this is the one I microwaved. And I'm peeling the skin off of it. And it's coming off pretty easily. And then this is the one I did not microwave. And I guess for some squash, you might need to microwave it, but I think for sweet meat, I'm not gonna microwave the rest of these because this is coming off just fine. But I'm going to remove the rest of the skin, and then I'm gonna cube this up, and I'm gonna steam it till it's cooked all the way through, let it cool down, and then freeze it until I'm ready to make that soup. Put all these scraps into the compost. So I wanted to show you guys this. So when you ferment your seeds, the ones that aren't fertile will rise to the top, the ones that aren't going to produce a plant, and then the ones that are will sink to the bottom. So you see there, that one is a good one to save. And so I've had these seeds right here fermenting for 4 days, 5 days, something like that. And as you can see on this one, see that outer coating that just rubs off? So these are all the ones that floated to the top that aren't any good. I've taken those out. And then these are the saved ones. And what you want to do is you are going to try to rub off that outer coating. And then you let this dry on a paper towel or a paper plate. And then these are seeds that can be saved for, you know, I think zucchini seeds, because this is the striped zucchini. Zucchini seeds can save like 3 to 4 years. But getting rid of that outer coating, see if I can find another one. Yeah, see, this one has a little bit left. Some of it will come off on its own in the water, but then you really want to make sure you get them good and clean, even if you have to soak them a couple of times, because that will keep them longer without molding. So that's what you're trying to get rid of. This will make the seeds last longer in storage. What's the word I'm looking for? When they come up out of the ground. I can't find the word. You know, when you plant them, they will erupt out of the dirt faster. What is that word? Somebody help me. Okay. And this is what they look like when they're nice and dry. These are ready to be put up in storage, and they'll last for 3 to 4 years.